Hello everyone, it's Leo, and today we're going to talk about episode 20 from Tropical-Rouge Precure, which was very funny and kind of sweet in some moments as well. I really liked this episode. I don't think there is much to talk about, but girl, there were so many meme faces, funny faces, and some special moments and characterizations that I find important. The first thing is that I really need to praise in this episode is Fairu's voice acting with Manatsu. Come on, she's always great, but I feel like in this episode she was really something else. And right at the start of the episode, we see the beautiful melon pan. Melon pan visually is very pretty. That made me hungry. I really want to try it one day. And I don't even know if a premium one like that exists, but the regular melon pan, I really want to try it one day. And we had right at the start of the episode Manatsu winning, and we had like a super eerie narration, and I thought this episode was going to be like kind of like the thriller style of episode, kind of like last episode, but no, it was actually very funny and very kind of like carefree. So we see that Manatsu leaves the melon pan in the tropical club room, and then when she comes back it's not there anymore, and Kururun was the only one that was there when she left it, but then after that all the other girls arrived. So all the girls can be suspects, and it was very interesting because people, like, Manatsu was super shocked, she fainted, and the girls were taking care of her, and at the same time, Minori was changing her glasses. That moment, like, I really like how they work with her because she has that poker face, and she doesn't act that much, but when it's time for her to shine, she doesn't let anyone else bother her. It's her turn, it's her time. She gives it her all, and she changed the glasses, and she was like, and she became Detective Pikarin, or now Detective Minori. We see Minori, and we see how much she loves reading, and we see how much reading impacts her life and the way she sees the world around her. We saw that in one of the earlier episodes, and now we see it again in a more comedic route, yes. But they're focusing on this aspect of her personality. She loves reading, and at the same time, she is affected by everything she reads. Like, they really affect and impact her life. Like, reading can really change your perspective on the world. Reading is great, and I really love how they work with that with her. And so she goes on by, creating theories in her mind, and it's very funny because the first theory that she creates is like, this is the correct one. I really loved that. And Kururun was the first, but then we learned that Kururun doesn't eat melon pan. Kururun doesn't eat anything, it seems. It just eats the special cookies from the sea. So no food for Kururun. Poor Kururun, I'm so sorry about that. And then she goes on to focus on Laura. That scene of her, accusing Laura and Laura defending herself. Girl, I really loved that moment. Like, Laura was super serious. I swear on the queen's name, me, the one who is going to become the queen. And girl, I loved that. And then we see Asuka being the suspect. Minori thinking Asuka could climb walls. Minori, girl, what is going on with you? Girl, I love that. Her mind, and Asuka was like, I can't climb walls, I'm athletic, but I can't do that. What are you thinking? And it was very nice because we had the same scene for each of the girls. The girl arriving and eating the melon pan and then laughing like, it was great because we could see like each of the voice actors doing that in the character's style. Great, all of them did a great job. And then we see Minori being suspected, and Minori had an alibi, but then Asuka thought that Minori created that fake alibi because she knows a lot about mysteries and detectives and everything. Girl, that was awesome. And obviously Sungo was suspected too. It was super sweet, and Sungo was like, poor Sungo, come on. And that created kind of a rift between the girls because they were all suspecting each other. I think that's the most important thing here, plot-wise. And then we had a scene with the villains, and girl, I just love them so much. Chongita was like, where is my jelly? And the other two were eating the jelly, and they were like, I have no idea. Girl. Oh my god, I love how self-aware this show is sometimes. And they drew by luck the one who was gonna attack. Like, they don't like coming and collecting motivation and attacking. Like they really don't like that. And so Shongiri was the one, so he came to attack. So while Shongiri was attacking, the girls were having this rift. There was this rift between them. Manatsu was worried because Manatsu really wanted to eat the melon pond, but at the same time, she was more worried about how the Tropical Club was going to be if this suspect thing was still going to be around them, if they were still going to be suspecting each other. But at the same time, the attack started and the girls went on to fight. And at that moment, before they started fighting, it was interesting. Two things were interesting at that moment. The first one is Manatsu with her catchphrase back. It's been a while, I think, or I don't know, maybe I have missed it in the past few episodes, but I don't really remember her saying, like, we have to do what's important right now. And so she did it right before the fight. And also Minori changing glasses, like, that was her personality change. Like, no, let me get back to my precure self. And then she puts on her regular glasses. That was everything. And so we see the group transformation and the group pose. I really like the group pose. It felt very different. But I don't know how I feel about the animation before the pose. Because it's so fast, we barely see the other girls. We see a lot of Kurosama, but we barely see the others because the animation is super fast. But it was still cool. It was very nice seeing them getting out of the water and making the final pose. The final pose was super different and I really love it because usually we have the girls lined up, and now with Tropical-Rouge we have them in very different poses and like very different placement in the screen. And I really like that because it kind of exudes Tropical-Rougeness to me because, you know, very different, very out there. It was cool. And, you know, I'm always the one to come and complain about the Tropical-Rouge fights, but this one was very cool. We see the girls attacking individually, in group, and nothing was working. But, you know, at least we saw some action scenes, and it was cool. And it wasn't working because the girls weren't really resonating with themselves. But then we get to see the realization that Laura was the actual culprit, and then she saw that she ate, but she didn't even know that she ate it because she saw it in the aquapot. She saw the paper bag in the aquapot, and so she realized that she was the one. And I really liked that moment because you could see in her eyes and in her expression that she was feeling sad and she was feeling guilty and she was feeling very bad for what she did, even though she didn't know. So she was really feeling it. And at the same time, the girls were not able to attack very well because they were suspecting each other. So there was not this unison amongst the group. So I really liked both things about the fighting scene. And that moment of Kira Lemaire realizing and the desperation in her eyes and in her physiognomy, you know, it was great. And the way Kurosama just got her hands and, you know, what's important is our friendship. I wanted to eat it, but what's important is feeling good with each other. And, you know, we are friends and I obviously forgive you. And the girls, they all forgave themselves. They all asked for forgiveness for suspecting each other. It was a very sweet scene. It was a very sweet moment. And they were able to get back on track and fight together. That was very nice. You know, we kind of saw the powers again. Like Coral, we always see Coral's powers. We saw Papaya's laser eye beams as well. It's been kind of been a while, I think. So it was nice seeing them back. And obviously Kira Lemaire defeated the monster. Shongiri went back. Shongiri, come to me, girl. He's handsome. And so at the end of the episode, we see Kururun gesturing and Melody understanding every single word. Girl, that was such a great moment. I really loved it. And at that scene, we also see Laura's attire, civilian attire, without it being the school costume, the uniform. I think it was the first time. I don't remember seeing it prior to this. I mean, we saw that in the leaks, but I think it's the first time we actually see it in the show. It looks very good. And they were all there in Pretty Holic. They were able to eat another flavor, a different flavor of melon pond. And their friendship is way stronger now because of this. And I feel like it's a good milestone to talk about their friendship now, because we've been focusing a lot on Laura's relationship with the girls and the fact that she's human. And now it's time to maybe focus on the group again. And so I think that this episode was a nice kickstart for us to see the group as the focus. Even though I think that this was more of a Manatsu focused episode, even though the episode itself is kind of focused on Minori, we see her in the eye catch and we also see her in the ending, but I still feel like Manatsu was the one who took the lead more. Even though I can take my Minori rap, I love it, but I still feel like it was more of a group thing, and we're starting to see more of Tropical-Rouge as a group, because that's probably what's going to be important from now on. Even though we still have the character arcs, especially from Minori and Asuka, we know that they're still going to be focused as solo characters in the future, but probably for now what matters is working with the group. So this was an interesting episode in this aspect. It was very fun. But it was also kind of emotional and heartwarming to see those girls we love so much getting like stronger bonds. So it was very cute. And next episode, the girls are going to go to Manatsu's island. Are we going to see Manatsu's father? I miss him. I want to see him again. Anyways, this was my opinion on episode 20 from Tropical-Rouge. What are yours? Please leave in the comments. Let's keep talking about this episode. Anyways, I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel. If you are a member, I really appreciate your support. I really appreciate you believe in Magical Cinema. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye bye.